With Roe v. Wade overturned, we want to set aside politics and our opinions for the next few minutes to talk about what this decision means from a doctor's perspective. So please welcome to the panel, Dr. Payal Kohli. Thank you so much for being here, doctor.
Doctor, I want to ask you, how will this affect women's health care? I consider abortion part of my health care umbrella.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up, Tori. I think you guys have been talking about it already, but we have not just one, but multiple data sets. So before 1973, we saw that women were still getting the same number of abortions. They were just not getting them safely. We've also seen data from other countries that tells us that if you restrict access to abortions, you don't reduce the number of abortions, you just increase the complications and the mortality that comes from unsafe abortions. So we actually saw data coming out of University of Colorado this morning that says we expect an increase of about 7% in maternal death and complication rate over the next year, and subsequent years, 21%
Oh my
increase.
gosh.
21%.
What a day to be a
How is that
citizen of this country.
protecting life? How is that protecting life?
And I
wanna
have
be
to say
sensitive
this is on a background of us having one of the highest rates of maternal morbidity and mortality in the United States compared to any other developing country because of the underserved population. They're the ones who are going to be disproportionately affected by this.
Well, I mean, obviously, there are going to be a lot of opinions on the show today, but the great thing is that we heard the legal perspective from Mark Aglarsh. So I want to talk to you about the medical perspective. Just in terms of how the medical profession views this ruling, what do you guys think? What did you feel when this came down?
You know, Al, as a doctor, I was absolutely horrified when this happened. I was in disbelief, actually, when I heard this.
I was too.
Yeah, and I'm not.
I thought I was dreaming.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, is this really?
It's one of those where you remember where you were. I was in my car and I was looking at a CNN article, and it was just at the top, almost like it would be like Boston Red Sox win the title. I was like, that's a little snippet to throw in there. Like, I thought it was very underrepresented.
I got a text message and I stopped. I was driving, I pulled over, I looked at it, and I'm not the only one who feels this way, because the American College of Gynecology, the American Medical Association, pretty much every public health official feels very strongly that the option to terminate a pregnancy should be a discussion between the woman and her doctor. It should be something that is available to us. You've tied our hands by taking this away. And sometimes it's not a choice. It's not an option. Sometimes it's a treatment. It's a way to save the woman's life. And I think about this one patient that I had in training. I'll never forget her. Lovely woman. Her first pregnancy, her heart failed. She had a condition called peripartum cardiomyopathy, where the heart muscle couldn't handle the stress of pregnancy, and it got very weak. We got her through the first pregnancy. She used contraception, but she ended up getting pregnant again. And had we not terminated that second pregnancy early, she would have died. Her heart would not have been able to hold the pregnancy, and of course the baby would have died.
And then the first child would grow up without their mother.
And so in this case, we're saying that even if the mother's life is in danger in this ruling, you still have to have that.
Well, and it's going to be a state-by-state decision.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
So you've taken away the federal protection to have it. So every state can determine for themselves when it's okay to terminate, what conditions it's okay to terminate again, under. What if somebody has a birth defect that's going to make them not survivable outside of the womb?
That's a scary thing for me to doc. It's like
so traumatic
I think about you, Dr. Kohli, and like the position that you're going to be in, because when we start talking about medical assessments, it's not like this isn't where like we go, Jeff has this condition, let's fix it. A lot of things are like, I don't think Al's heart is strong enough to carry this. I don't think that Tori can do this. So there can always be the persecution of doctors saying, you weren't for sure that they were going to pass away. Why did you do this? So like, do you have professional and personal concerns for yourself and your colleagues?
You know, I'm really worried. I don't myself do terminations because I'm a cardiologist, but the colleagues that I have that do them are terrified, not just because of their livelihood, but because, again, sometimes it is a life-saving intervention that we do to protect mom, and maybe even protect the other children, protect the baby that's about to come. So I'm concerned about how this is going to set a precedent where the lawyers, the Supreme Court makes the decision about what I can do as a doctor, as a scientist, takes away my ability to offer my patient options.
Really quickly, let me ask you, I know we have to go, but what's the pregnancy called where you're pregnant in your fallopian tube? I've had two friends that had to get an abortion to save their lives because there's no way that first of all, the baby's not going to survive in your fallopian tube, and the mother will die. If they did not get that life-saving procedure, I will call it, I would not have those two friends today.
Wow.
That's exactly right. And I think this is really going to change the way that we think about women's rights moving forward. And all the ethical issues that it's going to create are also endless.
Wow. Well, thank you, Dr. Kohli, as always, for providing your medical, I'm not going to call it your opinion, your medical advice. If you have a question you would like Dr. Kohli to answer, write us on social media or send us an email to info@dailyblastlive.com. We will be right back.